Hey, ladies and gentlemen. So back around April of this year, while losing my mind from the shutdowns, I purchased a watch that had not even been remotely on my mind a year prior, 2 years prior, and we're talking the Rolex Explorer II, polar dial. It's the 16570, featuring a caliber 3186 movement. This is an end of an era watch where the 40 millimeter was going to be phased out, bringing in the 42 millimeter. And there were a number of features that earlier Explorer IIs did not have. This is a no-holes case. It has solid end links. Granted, it's on a NATO right now. The links have screws instead of pins. This caliber 3186 movement has a parachrome hairspring, so it's added resistance to magnetism, which is extremely important to me. And I had no interest in these at all. I was just an Omega guy. No interest at all until I ran into Austin Daniels. And what do you got on there?
Got the Explorer II, 16570.
A YouTuber who lives in Japan, and he and I hung out in Thailand last year, and I was wearing his Explorer II. He was good enough to bring it and allow me to wear it, and I fell in love. And that's a problem, because I had just bought this. I had just bought it. So what to do? Well, I obsessed, and I researched, and I tried on. I tried on the 42 millimeter. I didn't like it, and I tried them on before, and I thought they were kind of weird and goofy. But this baby right here really appealed to me. And over the years, I determined, as much as I love these beautiful big dive watches, the thickness is a problem, especially in regards to daily use. And so ultimately I decided I was going to pick one of these up. The problem is they have exploded, doubled in price over the last few years. And that, it kind of irked me. It was down deep, like, ooh, I missed my window, but I made the choice to do it anyway. And I picked up one, box, cards, unworn, never serviced. And it's very hard to get one like that. Typically, when you go online and you find them with box and cards, they've been serviced and they've been polished, they've been refinished. I wanted one that had never, ever been polished, never refinished. And to do that, well, I had to look around and be patient and negotiate hard. And ultimately, I was able to get this particular piece below the market rate as it was in March. And as luck would have it, I mean, it did this, but now it's doing this again. Now, it's a decade old. It's never been serviced. Well, what to do? It's accurate. It's within specifications, but I knew that you treat a girl right. You don't buy a classic Mercedes-Benz and never change the oil, don't put on new tires. And I speak as a classic Mercedes-Benz owner. So I decided to have it serviced. But where? I did some research, and Fink's, I think it's called Fink, I don't know. They are in Raleigh, North Carolina. They're highly respectable. A high-end jeweler in the area. They have their own certified Rolex watchmaker. And after speaking to a few people that I met on the forums who have dealt with them and recommended them highly, I said, okay. And I dropped it off about 3 weeks ago. Got the call. It's back after just 2.5 weeks. Wow, okay, that's good turnaround. Now, it's very important. On the estimate, which the estimate, here's the price. $804.38 with tax. That's a lot of money. And I know some of my friends are like, why would you buy a watch and then have to have it serviced? Why would you buy a classic car and never change the oil? I knew that it was most likely that the movement in here was in dire need of service. And get it treated right, get that 2-year Rolex warranty, and you'll be good to go. Good to go for another decade. So, long story short, I get the paperwork, watch estimate, here's the movement. Oil's dry, dirty, low amplitude. And it lists, things being slightly worn. Crown, worn. Tube, Badly worn. Tube, badly worn. Ouch. Not good. And it does say here, case bracelet will not be refinished, will only be taken apart and ultrasonic cleaned. Required service, complete overhaul, required parts, crown. And it's crown and tube. They don't list a tube, but it's crown and tube. And the total came out to $796. Now, when I stopped by to pick it up, the watchmaker wasn't there. It was Wednesday, and that's his day off. Okay. So they hand over the watch to me. It was on the bracelet. I asked them to put it on this NATO strap, and the lady who was in charge there said, no, we're not allowed to do that. But there was like a conversation, and the guy came over and says, we'll take care of it. And because I don't have the tool, and I don't want to scratch my spring bars. And I've been doing a whole lot of typing lately, and when you wear something where you've got this clasp, it's constantly banging and catching. It's not comfortable, it's not fun. So I wanted it to be on the NATO, and by the way, it's a Bark and Jack NATO. I don't know if you can see that, B&J. So I know that'll make some people's heads explode. So anyway, they give me a nice pouch. Thank you very much. We have our new warranty card, okay, with the service date on it. Got 2 years on it, and it's almost, actually it is 48 hours since I picked this up. And it's gained about a quarter of a second in that time. A quarter of a second. That's it. Now granted, like I said before, this was running within specifications, but -2 is within spec on Rolex, and it was losing 2 seconds a day. I didn't like that. Now this sucker has been returned to proper water resistance. The movement has been massaged, cleaned, put back together, regulated. Peace of mind. And I can show you the watchmaker did email me. Okay, here's the timing, so start here and move our way up, and as you can see, it's perfectly fine. But so far, in the real world, wearing it on my wrist for 2 days, I only took it off so that I could talk to you. Over the last 48 hours, it's only gained about a quarter of a second, and that is incredible. That's the Rolex timekeeping. This is the best watch purchase I have ever made. And I know I should have been talking about it and doing more videos on it, but honestly, like a lot of you, dealing with the worst year in memory. With the lockdowns, there was a lot of depression involved. I have friends who are really, really suffering, far more than I am. I mean, I've barely been working the last couple of weeks as far as my day job. I don't have a day job now. So there's no money coming in. And thankfully, I reacquainted myself with I can't really get into the specifics, but I reacquainted myself with someone that I worked with before, and we are on a big writing project, and it has great potential, and at least it's paying the bills for now. We'll see what happens. But I have been so laser focused on that I simply haven't had time to even discuss watches or my car or anything else. I know people are asking, how's the Mercedes? Do a video. Give us a video on, on the Explorer. People hit me up on Instagram typically, and they say, what's going on? But I've been busy. But I wanted to share this with you, and I think it's money well spent. I know that a lot of folks out there, they buy a Rolex and they never do a damn thing. They don't touch it. They just leave it be, and they let it run and run and run until it stops running. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to pick one up, treat it properly, and now I'm going to put it on my wrist and not have to worry about it. I can take it swimming. I can go boating. I can go hiking. I can go into hot and humid climates, freezing cold climates. Well, it's an Explorer. It's built to explore. So that's basically it. If you have any questions, you just feel free to ask. I'm thrilled with this purchase. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be wearing this very often. I'm just not. This is a beautiful watch, one of the finest that Omega has ever made. It is state of the art, but this feels better on the wrist. It just does. And there is that peace of mind. Like I said, the prices did this a bit, but now, Rolex is like gold. It will never lose all of its value. And what's amazing is that you can pretty much purchase any Rolex at any price. And if you hold on to it long enough, it's going to be worth more than what you paid. And at this point, now that it's serviced and I have service papers, well, it's not papers anymore, it's a card. I could easily flip this and not lose a penny if the shit hit the fan. But that's not why I bought it. I've actually already been offered money for it. I've already been offered, two people have tried to buy it off me. And they says, Matt, I'll give you what you need so that you don't lose any money. You break even. No. It's a keeper. So I realize that I am not a multi-watch guy. And while I'll always have the pre-bond, and I love the pre-bond, and this is what I wear if I'm really going to go crazy. If I go to the gym, I've got a G-Shock. If I'm going to go to the beach and play volleyball, and I know I'm going to play volleyball, I'll wear this. Otherwise, this baby right here. Thanks for watching.